and you're back here on TV3 New Day. Like we mentioned earlier, today on the entertainment segment, we are going to be dissecting Sarkodie's reply to Yvonne Nelson and how this affects their personal brands. Now, after the release of her I Am Not Yvonne Nelson memoir, that was on the 18th of June this year, social media has been talking. Social media is divided, everybody has their opinions, and you know, to top it off, just a few days ago, Sarkodie replied his part of, you know, the revelation in the memoir with a song, and that skyrocketed everything to a different level. And there's been questions as to whether he should have, why he even replied, the contents of his reply, and all that. But today we have experts. I mean, you've heard. Today, I don't have an opinion. You know, we have experts in the studio that are going to be giving us expert advice on, you know, all these revelations. And so we've got Dr. Ike Tando. He is a brand communications expert. We've got Wei Yoting, and he is an entertainment analyst. And Madam Vida Iduchumwa Boating, she is a showbiz critic. You're all welcome to the show this morning.
Thank you.
After the release of the book, I am sure, you know, some of you might have read it full cover to cover, some to have seen excerpts of it. But I just want to take your summary of the book from your perspective in just a few words. Let me start with you, Dr. Ike Tando.
Thank you very much. And I have to issue a disclaimer that I've not read a book cover to cover.
Okay.
As you said, but I've been reading the excerpts that is being shared. And I must say I was very happy because I've been an author myself, and I campaigning for young people or for entertainers or for sports people, everybody to write. I think I was extremely happy when I heard that she had written, and she was going to add to the library of books for Ghanaian people to read. So my first impression was excitement. And I know the pains authors will have to go through to pen down a book. It was good. The backlash.
We will come to that, but I mean, you believe it's a good book?
Very good book.
Language-wise?
Language-wise, from the letter I've read, I've not read consequent, but the letter I've read, I think it was good. The plots were good. The language were decent. Majority of the parts that I have read. And for any person, whether it's Yvonne Nelson or it's you, any person, to get the courage to write, it's a huge. There are people I'm a comms person. I've been doing this all my life. There's many people who just want to enjoy the talking. But when you ask them to sit down and put what they have been saying in print, it becomes very difficult.
Yeah.
Creative writing is extremely challenging, very difficult. So for a young woman to have transitioned from acting to come to this very, very difficult area of publishing, I think she must be applauded for writing the book.
Definitely. How about you, Madam Vida?
I think it's a classic piece. If you're a literature student, you can find all the rich literary devices in the book. It was well written, and I'm hearing people say that because it's so rich in language, probably there's an expert somewhere who wrote it. I mean, it's not common within our circles to have a woman, for that matter, come to the public and then divulge all that information about her life, and using herself or her life experiences as an example for young girls to tell, because she's talking about abortion and other sensitive issues in the book. I think the whole piece that people are talking about are the references that he made to some superstars that we have. But the book has historical background on each chapter. If she's talking about education, she's breaking down the education system in another chapter. There's a chapter that even talks about independence and the raw materials that we export and how we are not getting enough from it. So devoid of the distractions and people thinking that it's character assassination for their favorite act, there are other pieces that you can, you know, put together and actually enjoy as a literary piece or a literature book. So I think it's a classic piece and she needs to be commended for that.
Okay. Where your team?
Right. I think for us, in our part of the world, entertainers are being boxed onto a certain, angle where we feel all we know how to do is entertain people, comic activities and all that. So for Yvonne to move that step is, a true move for her and other people. And I'm not surprised this is coming from her because she's an actress.
Yes.
She's a director.
Yes.
Somebody who's been working with scripts. So we as creatives, per imaginations, everything that we pen down is what we feel should be happening in the real world or what has happened. So seeing her pen such good, beautiful, ugly, and tempting, pieces together, I feel is just one of her scripts. But this time about she herself, putting it out there. So in my opinion, I mean, she's done very good for herself. Obviously, the entertainment scene is negativity sells.
It does.
It has always been the doorway to everything that anybody wants to do. Why would you say, I mean, way back, I can't remember when Oforiamposa had to release a song, even though he was doing great, and you heard a story of Oforiamposa is there. I mean, why would you want to
use that as a selling point?
Because negativity sells. You get the attention, and then you sell the message. So I think with whatever is in the book, the attention has been grabbed. Now, my question is whether the aim of the book is going to be established without emotions. Because once I have started feeling that some emotions are stepping in, that really breaks down the entire motive of the book and what is to sell to the world as a whole. So it's been a good book, all right, but emotions shouldn't get the better part of the publisher to make you feel like, well, there was an agenda behind it, and now that is being executed. I think just as she has been playing with it, referring Giovanni when the lunch was going on, read the book, read the book. Don't come tell me what you feel. Let me keep reading the book. Let me make my own assumptions. If it doesn't happen like that and you're tilting me towards a certain direction because it has become matters of the heart and no more matters of reality that we need to attend to, that's where my little, break is. But aside that, it's a great piece. Knowing that he has my artist or Brafo in there, having a good image.
But I mean, this has been a great period for the creative space, talking about music, talking about movies. We've seen a lot of creativity in that. And even with the release of a book, it sort of has awakened, the spirit of book writing. People are recommending, other people in the space to write their books and all that. We've also seen Ajete Anan, who's releasing his next month. Should it be something that should be encouraged in the creative space, Dr. Ag?
100%. That's what I said in my introductory remarks, that writing, and I keep on saying, and I think I've written in one of my books, that the best legacy you can leave as a human being is to write a book. Because Chinua Achebe has done Things Fall Apart. Which year was that? But the book is still relevant.
Yes.
People still refer to Chinua Achebe as the best novelist that happened to Africa. So writing a book is a bold step. It's a mark of trying to display how intellectual you are and then trying to also leave a legacy. So I think it is good. I was extremely happy when I heard his writing. And just to add, just to deviate a bit from Mr. Oteng, right? Said that in the entertainment industry, negative, and I've seen that narrative going around. But in book publishing, that assumption doesn't hold. And I struggle to find out why they think Yvonne's book, the negativity is selling the book. There were good books that are very positive, that have sold. Things Fall Apart have sold millions. John Grisham, the firm, have sold millions. There are no negativities, positive convictions. I have written Dear Mama Why So Soon in 1889. I sold over 20,000 pieces. No negativity. But what I would say is that probably, writers write under inspirations, write under feelings. Sometimes the inspiration will be so strong, so hard that you want to pen down everything as you are going through the emotions. When I did my first book in 1999, I had portrayed my father because I'm a mommy's boy, and everything about my book, and my book was how my mother died and all that. So I was trying to recount my mother's story. So in the book, I was trying to portray my father didn't do anything, and that was my feeling. That was the reality. That is why in book publishing, there is the author, there's an editor, there's a proofreader. So if because your personal emotions, you are writing your emotions, Daniel Steele's book was a personal biography. And then when you look at the history of book writing, you say autobiographies, personal memoirs, and those are the books that have really, really, really sold because people feel it and people experience, like when you are reading, it's like you are going through the journey with the author. But it's not all that negativity sells, because those are very positive books. Those are very inspirational, but that have sold millions and millions of copies. Having said that, let's look at the intent And I say that it comes before you pick a pen or you pick a microphone to speak, you have to ask yourself, why am I communicating? So let's ask the young be communicating. Why did she decide to write the book?
Yes.
Did she decide to write the book just because of one rapper that she wanted to destroy? Was that the motive? Have you read the book? I have not. I just want to issue the disclaimer again. I have not read the book cover to cover. But from the little piece that I read, I don't think that the motive was to paint somebody as a devil in the book. Whether the mother, just that probably her emotion took the better part of it. That if I were, yesterday I was saying it on, I think Angel TV, and I said that if I were the editor or I were the proofreader for the book, probably I could have, because somebody did it for me, because say, 10 years to come, can you sit back and then read it and say that this is what you said about your daddy?
True.
And I thank God that my editor helped me to just take that particular part of it, because now my daddy is fine. He's still watching me. And I would have been very... So emotions, once you are trying to pour all your heart out, tell it all. And communication is also culture. Our culture has not come to accept that tell-it-all kind of book writing or something. It is not part of the Ghanaian culture yet. That's why a lot of that surprise element is in. And then people are chasing, everybody want to read, and people are adding their own narratives. I think, I am not in her mind, I think that she was not on a destructive mission by writing the book. I have interacted with many authors, global Ghanaian authors, African authors, global authors. I'm yet to find out, although there are a few, somebody who want to pen down a book and say that this book I am writing to destroy, I'm A, B, C, D. That is the motive of my writing. I'm yet to come across such an author. But what I think YN should have done, the editors and the proofreaders should have was to look at how to tone the emotions, because writers write under inspirations. And once the person is inspired to write things that he's going through or she's going through, it is also the responsibility of the editors or the proofreader to say that, hey, what are the outcomes? What outcomes do you want to achieve with the piece that you are writing? And to make sure that at the end of the day, every communication that we do should achieve two things or should look at two things: the emotions and the feelings of the characters you are describing. How sensitive your communication is going to affect the emotions, the feelings, and the sensibilities of people you are discussing in a book or in a song or anything. We don't write it because we just want to please ourselves. We are writing for the people, and their emotions and their feelings must at all the time be respected.
I mean, talking about, toning down, so would you say that maybe one, the approach she took with the description of her mother based on the things that she had been through, and I wouldn't say sort of painting her mother in a bad way, that should have been toned down, one. And then also maybe the mentioning of some names could have also been put in a certain space that could still get her the traction she needed without hitting directly.
100%. It was her choice. So she could have even used pseudonyms. She could have used anything to just describe and just get the same outcome that she wanted. But she chose, because to just go direct, mention names. And then I've heard also people saying that, why didn't she mention everybody's name? If you are supposed to recount your story from, I don't know what time you woke up. Maybe you started the show early, so probably you woke up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. 6 a.m. to this time, 10 p.m. If you are asked to write everything that happened, you cannot recollect 100%. So you cannot chronicle everything in your 38-year journey when you are writing a book. You must be realistic. And she been accused of picking and choosing, selecting and naming, shaming and whatever. Yet again, I wasn't in her mind, but I think that the outcome, the emotions, the personal emotions should have been controlled so that some of these backslash wouldn't have happened. Okay,
I would like to come to you, Madam Vida, talking about telling it all and encouraging people to write books and all that. How far should they go in this process? Should they be ready to destroy relationships because they're telling it all as their memoir? How far? At what cost?
I don't think there should be any limitation as to what to write or who to reveal in your book. This is not a storybook or what I like to call my first copybook, where you want to give to a child to, for the child to read and learn how to read and write. This is a memoir. There should be that surprising element about it to elevate your kind of writing. There are other celebrities who have written books. I'm sure Gifty, or Gifty, Auntie, has written about 4 or 5 books.
New one coming.
A new one coming. And it's, you read it. There's a purpose for that. If you want to know her lifestyle, her work, you go there. But there has to be that shocking element in a tell-all or a memoir for you to relate to the person's story. She has a mission. She's picking out some sensitive issues and addressing them. We have pastors in Ghana who have told us that they were once weed smokers, they were once thieves. And all that. Have we embarked on any campaign to get them off the pulpit? It is because of their past experiences that they are able to advise someone in a similar situation. So nobody should put any embargo or any restriction on any writer on what to do. This is, you know, she's basking in the ambience of a new professional. She's an author, best-selling for that matter. So you shouldn't restrict her in any way. It is her life experience. Right. She has to tell it as it is, no matter who you are. I don't subscribe to people saying that she should have used XYZ instead of mentioning the name. Go straight to the point. And for the mother, those of you who are saying that she disrespected her mom, she's giving her that respect by coming to you countless times. How old is she again? 37. And she's been wanting to know her father since she was a child. So she's giving you enough respect to tell me, give me the information, and you do not. That. So the book is also a clarion call on the father out there that if you can hear my voice, I've been looking for you all these years. My mother is not ready to give me the information. Come along and, you know, tell me that you're my father. Let's run along and do a few DNA tests and confirm. So nobody should come around and tell the lady that you should have left Sarkodie's name out. For what? No, I don't subscribe to that.
Subscribe to
no,
that.
It has to be straightforward, as far as you can go. Devoid of insults, because there are no insults in the book. And she didn't kind of describe the act, the sexual act. We've seen another lady who comes on social media, tells us the sizes of the man who the penises, excuse me to say if I can say that in the morning. We've seen a lady talk about that and how long a man lasts. Probably you might not be the best in bed, but she didn't, you know, she concealed that information and just told us that the act happened. It resulted in pregnancy that you did not want to, you know, accept. Let's move on.
Yeah. I mean, so using the book, you not subscribing to people saying that she should have, you know, toned it down a bit and all that. She should have just said it all. Would you also agree that, you know, from Sarkodie's side on putting out his song, which is also his craft, you know, he shouldn't have put any measures on whatever he said?
No, what it is that you are slut-shaming, if that is your way of responding to, because there are other discerning minds who will know that the pertinent issues, some were answered, some were left
not
unanswered.
True.
So once she didn't insult you, I don't see why you should come out and tell a woman to list the number of men that she has slept with. If you happen to be number 100, if that will validate your ego, Sarkodie is telling us that, oh, well, he's fine to be 100. He would have achieved his purpose of trying to sell out the lady as a slut. So if you want to stick to insults and slut-shaming a woman to, you know, put your message across, that is your style. But hers is what she's written in the book. And I don't quite subscribe to Sarkodie because, Charlie, it's like attacking a whole constituency of women. You get it? And he comes back to say that the book is not good, but it's because negativity sells. She's selling negativity, just like that. What is the negativity about somebody's life experience?
That statement is not truthful. That negativity sells. That's what I said. That there are good books that have sold.
And then you are telling her, that she's only making money from it. How many people in this life can boast of their misfortunes fetching them money? How many people? So if you have a misfortune or you are disadvantaged in life because you don't know your father, and that can fetch you money, it means Charlie, what branded baby? So Sarkodie, I just listening to the music, I felt I was cringing. Like, really? Yeah. You could have easily said, "Oh, Yvonne, this happened 13 years ago. We're all, you know, coming up. I didn't know this has hurt you this bad. Charlie, let's move on. We have a lot of things to do in this industry." And you can't imagine the number of women who clap for Sark for making that statement. But then again, well, when he said beef, he's like beefing his fellow rapper. So he thinks throwing jabs will help. Let's see how far that takes him.
But when it comes to you, Oting, definitely, he had the right to respond. First of all, I'm sure a lot of people were saying that he shouldn't have exercised the right to respond in the first place. And when he responded, like she was saying, there are some things that he answered, there are some questions that were answered, some were not. And maybe it was too revealing in there. What do you make of Sarkodie's response to that?
I have somewhat last weekend, I said on 3FM that Sark needed to respond that fast. because this is brands at play. But I would want to touch on something real quick.
Okay.
Who is Yvonne Nelson? She's an actress. She's a director who over the years has mastered the act to spark controversies, conversations, to sell. She's not that your regular author you're talking about where I write a book and I know my avenues to sell. Yvonne knows her avenue to sell is through the entertainment scene. There are so many names in there. She mentioned Papi Kojo, this, that, Inyanya and all that. Sark is that spark to the book. Let's not downplay anything about it. Without Sark, this book would have gone, sold, but we wouldn't still be here talking about this. It would have been a regular book. Oh, Yvonne did this, and then Yvonne would come for an interview, if probably, and then that would have been it. This is a situation where Yvonne hasn't even gone for any interview.
No.
We are here talking. Why are we here talking? We're talking not because Yvonne wrote a book, because he wrote about somebody who was relevant, and that is Sark, the spark point. So Sark needed to respond.
Yeah.
In the rapper's life, there is no formula as to how people respond to beefs. He takes it as a beef.
But is this a
So
beef?
it is. Obviously, when somebody comes at you and it dents your brand, you see,
It's a
it's
beef.
action and reaction.
He's not coming at you.
It's-
He's
no, no, no,
reminding
wait.
you of something you both did.
Somebody writes a book.
You see, sometimes
And is recounting her experience, and you
Which is
classify
true.
it as a
He
beef.
has
I
been
do not.
confirmed
I do
in the
not.
song
I do
not.
that they
Whatever
had a
happened.
thing.
I do not have any
Right,
problem
right,
with that.
right,
But
right.
kindly let me put this. I went on, when this issue happened, I went on to speak to a lawyer. And you know that there is a breach of privacy in there. Sometimes you should think about all those things. So Sark has every right to do what he needs to do because whatever we do in the bedroom is private. So if you come out telling the world what happened, that is breach of privacy. Have we thought about that? Now, the moment you start to dent the brand, then he needed to respond.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for me, Sark gave a response that, in my opinion, shouldn't have. It was so wrong. So wrong. So if I was part of Sark's team, the advice I'll give him is, Joe, this is the situation. Now, it's an avenue for us to even blow, make some money, get some ambassadorial deals. So let's move out there. Let's issue a statement that, yes, I was young. This happened. I was so vibrant. I mean, I was into the world and everything was beautiful because I had gotten to a point where in my life I never dreamt of being. So everything was fun for me. And this happened. He even went on to tell how, you know,
Yes.
obviously to have had a pregnancy with somebody, that tells how you went on it. So guys, I will entreat the youth today. Can we protect ourselves when we do this? Can we take responsibility we can. And even if we have to run away because we are not in the position and something has to go wrong, let's own up, let's man up and pamper people, not to pamper us in spoil, but kind of like make people feel that we are deeply sorry. So, as me, I'm embarking on this to entreat youth to if you can't abstain, protect yourself. If you can't do this, do that. I was expecting a very brilliant, stuff like that from him. But unfortunately, the Tamarapa that we all know who rose to fame through rap battles will always be that guy. So he came very hard on Yvonne. Because when it comes to these things, we are all in this entertainment industry.
Yeah.
We do not have formulas as to how we come at each other. Just like she didn't have a formula coming at Sark. Sark also felt like, well, there were so many of them. Why me? Why put me? And you go on to expose yourself that you were living a promiscuous life because today two friends knock them together and then have them fall apart and,
Yes.
that should tell that you were also on an adventure. You were also on a certain tangent, a certain spree. We are all young and vibrant and we're exploring. Can we let some few things slide? But hey, Yvonne, at a particular point, I felt some few things should have been really kept on the low. But you see, the editor, the proofreader,
Yes.
they have no power because they have been authorized by somebody who is paying them to do their job. I want it this way, kindly do that for me. Because he knew the response that was going to come up. Sark is all the way somewhere,
Yeah.
but this is generating a lot of attention for him to come back. Her lawyer and all that has demise. I mean, this has taken the center stage of everything.
Yes.
For the past 2 weeks, what have we been talking about?
Yvonne Nelson.
And I have seen prominent people call the likes of Sark, call the likes of Yvonne to say that if this is the situation, kindly drop whatever arsenals that you're throwing and allow whatever is going to go.
Yeah.
People will understand. Now Yvonne is emotional.
Yes.
Don't get emotional.
Yeah.
You threw it.
Yeah.
I throw it back my way. Why get emotional? I think she still should allow the book to work.
To work. I agree.
It will be better, and now we will know that, well, it was thoughtful of her. Every move that she made towards the book was planned, and not because emotions took the better part of her, and now because now whatever she's doing, trust me, it's nothing to write home about. That people are even claiming that she has a fake account that he's writing stuff and reposting that. Listen, Yvonne, you've gotten to a point where whatever you need to spew, you're already spewing it. Keep spewing it.
Yeah.
And those who will come at you will come at you. Papi Kojo is quiet. Whoever is quiet.
He's doing the dance challenge.
Yeah, he's doing his dance challenge. Okay, Jamie and all that. So those that will come at you will come at you. Those that won't come at you will still relax. But at the end of the day, the core mandate of you trying to get the spark to sell your book is working.
Yes. Just let it be.
If she's going to shoot a movie, maybe she should start
She
now
should just
and
start
then shoot.
shooting the
Cast John and all those people. The Kwame that people are pursuing.
That we are looking for.
Yeah.
She should feature
She should just
there.
cast it and then
But
let's go.
You know, talking about all of this, unfortunately, we don't have too much time to delve deeper into it. But I would just like to come to you, Dr. Ike, with regards to the fact that these are two big brands, you know, in different spaces, and the entire backlash and, you know, from social media is divided right now. What is the worst that could happen to these brands in this time?
Thank you. I accepted to be on your show because I was very much hurt and disturbed about everybody in PR or in comms or in marketing would realize how difficult it is to build a brand to the level of Sark, to build a brand to the level of Yvonne Nelson. For the critics and narrative, I'll leave it to the entertainment people to do that. That is not my interest here. But my advice is, and my pain is to see these two young people who have gone through the mill, sacrificed to build brand to that level, and they allowing this narrative to destroy their brand. It hurts me as a brand person. And I say that anything you are doing today as a brand would have to align with your core mission and your core values of how you want to position the brand in the minds of people. And what is happening is going to have a negative effect on their trade, on their career, on their incomes, on their relationships, etc., etc. It's rather unfortunate. And if I had the opportunity to advise them, my brother, the entertainment critic, had gone into and then trying to talk. And he said something very intelligent about the crisis response approach Sarkodie too. And I was also going to say this. Sometimes, and I've been teaching comms for the past 20 years, and I've told PR people that why is it that in everything they want to have an opinion, they want to have a reply? Who says that everything you have to have a reply? Who says that? Sometimes, buying time, looking at how severe the responses are, gauging them, analyzing them, doing it. If they had done even a very good social media listening or social listening, they would have realized that even some people were even fighting for them already.
Yes.
I'm talking about the Sark camp. Why would you want to go and all those things were so unnecessary and have a negative effect on the brand and how now people are going to value the brand. I was reading this dawn that my good friend SM had that day with is it Beyonce? Yes, because the team went and they said that he had a very large following.
Yeah.
International brands. Sarkodie has built a very solid brand, and we are all praying and hoping that it could go much more global. Now, people like my good sister here, people who also think that womanhood has been affected. Once they are going to have a deal for you and are going to sign you, we are going to miss that deal, which is so much, which is so unfortunate. I think that they must be sensitive to their brands. They must be protective of their brands, and they must align their brand vision to whatever they say or whatever they intend to do. And I think they still have an opportunity to make sure that they can revive their brands by adopting very sound PR strategy. And I just want to also advise that there are so many professionals in there. And people were debating that creatives are not making that much to hire a full-time PR person, a full-time brands person.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand. If you cannot hire, get consultants, get people you can go to.
Definitely.
I wish that if probably Yvonne has spoken to somebody,
Yes.
if Sarkodie has spoken to somebody before coming into what they are doing, I think
It
the
wouldn't have
narrative
caused
would have
all
been
of that.
different. Brands management is so important, it's so crucial to the two of them. Their
Okay.
legacies are at stake, and their incomes too are also at stake.
On the same
Yes,
matter,
I'd just like to take you 30 seconds.
Okay,
Very
I think
quick.
Sark's brand has been bruised the most because we see him as a perfect father, wife, kids. He's always about his business, and now a woman comes to say that you impregnated me and you didn't take responsibility for it. Now, what to do is not to insult back. It is to calm down and make sure that you remedy the situation. So we pray that going forward, I don't know, if he comes back with another apology, I think it will be too late.
Yes, right now.
I
I don't think he might come back with an
Because this was his
apology.
first attempts. Until now, we didn't know that he had already sang about the situation.
But we didn't know.
Well. We
didn't know.
Because there was no
And
name
Yvonne, all
mentioning.
this while, who knew that this song was kind
Knew
of...
what she was going
She was
through.
calm. Yeah, and you know himself, we're bruising, but she was calm. But you had the opportunity, and people are sucking these.
Tins and
Hey.
sons. Anyways, it's been an interesting conversation. I really wish we had a longer time,
Well, the
to
wife
delve
also
into
tweeted
it.
Proverbs 95.
95.
So that should tell you how the family is
It's
being
taking it,
affected as at this
yes.
moment. So sometimes it's not just about us. It's about the people that we are bringing them into the limelight where
They know
we
nothing
belong
about.
to. And it's very unfortunate.
Well, anyways, the book is still out. She has restocked. It was sold out, and now she's restocked. So if you haven't read the book and you still want to get it, please make sure you just visit or just go on her page. You see, the links and how to get it. Thank you so much
And
too.
are you going to say the song is still streaming?
Yeah, that's what, the song is still